activists against the Hispanic immigrants, and Wall Street laughs all the way to the bank, because no attacks on Wall Street have been heard for the last 30 or 60 days.
All right, stay there. I want to come back and get into Iran, Webster. That's why you're here. And then the economy, where you see this going, the Knesset coming out over the weekend and saying they're getting ready to hit Iran. It's all coming up. I'm Alex Jones. The websites are Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.tv. Please stay with us.
We're on the march. The Empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Hi, folks. This is Alex Jones asking you for a minute of your time to tell you about soap. Not detergents, but good old-fashioned pure soap made by the Cal Ben Soap Company, a family-owned and operated American company. My family, staff, friends, and radio listeners are constantly telling me how much they love these products for bath, hair, laundry, and dishes. There is nothing like these factory-direct, big money-saving, triple-concentrated soaps anywhere. Get a free detailed catalog by calling 800-340-7091 or see them online at 5starsoap.com or Infowars.com. Let's talk to the owner of 5 Star Soap, Marty Schachter, and see what he has to say.
As founder and owner for over 63 years, people keep asking me, how's business? I'm happy to say our business is going down the drain. Call us at 1-800-340-7091 or visit our website, 5starsoap.com, for buying our 1 to 2 month soap sampler. Thank you.
Hi, folks. This is Alex Jones, and I want to tell you about the Silver Lungs Generator. Now you can produce pure and endless colloidal silver and deliver the solution directly into the bloodstream by breathing the solution through the lungs. The respiratory system is the first line of defense for airborne pathogens and viruses. The Silver Lungs Generator infuses the respiratory system with your self-produced nano-silver solutions and also delivers the silver nanoparticles instantly into the bloodstream. With continued legislation threatening the sale of nano-silver products, you can now produce pure and endless colloidal silver with the Silver Lungs Generator. Very easy to follow, step-by-step instructions are provided, making production fast and simple. Go to www.silverlungs.com today and learn more about the breakthrough technology of the Silver Lungs Generator. That's www.silverlungs.com. This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365.
We now take you live
To the Central Texas Command Center.
in the heart of the resistance. You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
Okay, we're going back to Webster Tarpley in just a moment. There is no doubt that the system is now in full gear to promote an attack on Iran. They fueled the Bashir peaceful reactor. It would take them 5 years, according to the UN itself, to get enough uranium out of these rods to build a weapon. But under contract, the Russians are running the facility and are going to take that, those spent fuel rods and the waste from the plant away. The Iranians last week offered the U.S. to come build it and run it. They offered for Turkey and Brazil to do it. It's all coming up because now Israeli Knesset member declares we are preparing for war. And we're seeing similar statements out of one of the globalist favorite organs. It came out last week in declassified Senate documents that one of the main newspapers, magazines, paid off illegally by the Israelis, paid cash was Atlantic Monthly decades ago, and it's now Atlantic Monthly again, putting out the latest, why Israel's preparing to attack Iran and what it means to you. So that's coming up with Webster here in just a moment. Before we go any further, I want to tell you about efoodsdirect.com, the highest quality storable foods out there. Now, this is where I get my storable foods. It's all fresh, made continually. So whatever you're getting has been made in the last month. They've got a bunch of great special food lines. They've got emergency responder, 1 month, 3 month, year supplies, gourmet style, raw foods. They've got everything. It's efoodsdirect.com, the letter E, foodsdirect.com, or give them a call, 800-409-5633 to order or to get a free brochure. They have a beautiful website with everything detailed on it, efoodsdirect.com or 800-409-5633. That's efoodsdirect.com. Don't be dependent on the system. Get prepared now as we go into World War III and the Depression and everything else. Let's hope for the best, but prepare for the worst, as they've said. And continuing along that line, mysolarbackup.com. Have you lost your power and want to simply flip a switch on to get the lights back on? If so, you should check out mysolarbackup.com, because there's never been a better time to start getting off the grid and generate your own supply of electricity. Our wonderful sponsor for 3 years with this particular product, Solutions from Science, is offering these great systems for your shed, for camping, or get a bunch of them and run your whole house. It's got the solar panel, the control panel, the batteries. A great system. Our listeners just love them. And unlike gas generators, there's no fumes or anything that come off of it, no sound. It's like having your own electrical power plant, and it's perfect for your home or your campsite, as I said. Get a free information package today by calling 877-327-0365, 877-327-0365, or mysolarbackup.com. One word, mysolarbackup.com. Okay, Tarpley, I'm going to try to shut up now and give you the floor. Who the interests are, this new fake Iraq pull down where they admit they've just renamed the names of the battle brigades, increased the private security firms in a model of control they want in the U.S. with the top secret USA system. We've got them building towards an Iran strike, saying they've got to do it. They said 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago they had to hit Iran before they fueled the reactor, because if they hit it once the rods are in, it could cause a Chernobyl. All of this on the heels of toxic legacy of U.S. assault on Fallujah, worse than Hiroshima. Top scientists admit off-the-charts increases of deformities and deaths from the DU used in Fallujah. Our troops that rolled in after the assault, they're dying and having massive health problems. This is just incredible, and now they want a whole new war. So, Webster, break it all down for us and where your intel and research shows we're going.
Well, I guess first of all we've now got the third anniversary of the Rogue B-52. You'll remember this: a Rogue B-52 strategic bomber with 6 nuclear-armed cruise missiles was essentially hijacked by the Cheney faction, this rogue network. Again, it's not the U.S. government; it's out of the control of the U.S. government and into a Wall Street-controlled network, the one that Cheney happened to be the spokesman for there for a while. But Cheney may be gone, but this thing goes on. And you remember it went from North Dakota to Louisiana, and then it was going to go on to the Middle East. This was right before the September 7th Israeli air raid on Syria, which, according to the Israelis at least, destroyed a nuclear reactor. I'm still skeptical about that. But you got to think about this. The Rogue B-52, and there never was a congressional investigation. There's never been an accounting about this. It was never an issue in the presidential election. And I had called attention to this actually before the fact with that Kenny Bunkport warning, which was issued about 3 years ago this month. So that was the last time we were on the brink of war. After that, we had the December 2007 National Intelligence Estimate, which said, and this is the CIA, we state with great confidence that Iran has no nuclear weapons program. They had one up until 2003, but not anymore. Now, all of that has changed, and I would point to, in particular, the increased financial desperation of London and New York, right? They had been attempting now for the last year or so to stage a speculative attack on the euro. They were attacking through the Greek bonds, the Spanish, Portuguese, and other government bonds, and they got a significant crisis going on that in April and May. But then that attack has now broken down, partly because of the German self-defense measures, right? Germany came forward and said, we're banning naked credit default swaps. We're banning naked shorts against German stocks. And I think very important, China supported the euro. The Chinese were not prepared to see the U.S. and the British destroy the euro. So China came in and began buying up Eurozone assets, and that had the effect of supporting the euro. So what we've had is an attempted blitzkrieg by the Anglo-Americans against the euro, which has now broken down. The high point of this was around the flash crash. Remember the May 6th event when the Dow lost 1,000 points in about 10 or 15 minutes. Take a look at that, because if you look at what was happening in the currency world on the afternoon of the flash crash, you'll see that the euro lost about 12 American cents compared to a yen, and that's a big dip. It looks to me like the flash crash had something to do with a program trading, high-frequency trading attack on the euro that somehow boomeranged. In other words, they found that they were successfully driving down the euro, but it was also destroying the New York stock market, so they had to pull back as this thing exploded in their face. So now it's essentially the blitzkrieg by the Anglo-Americans has failed, and there's really for the last 3 months everything has been drifting sideways. There's a possibility that it may now be the pound and the dollar that go down, and the euro survives. There's certain strength in the euro that has been displayed over the last 10 weeks. But it's also possible that the yen will be the big winner. We may wake up one morning and find that the yen and the Chinese renminbi are standing, and that the dollar and the euro have been locked in this conflict, and they both go down together, probably together with the pound. Anyway, apart from the details, this is the kind of situation that drives a financier ruling class absolutely berserk. They go bonkers, they freak out, they go into these flight forward things. And the idea is, of course, if you can start a war in the Middle East, you can get the Iranians to block the Straits of Hormuz and the Gulf, and at that point, the price of oil goes to $300 or $500 a barrel or even higher. And at that point, the problem of the dollar for the moment is solved, because there's huge demand for dollars. If you multiply the price of oil by 5 or 10, then you've multiplied demand for dollars by 5 or 10, as long as the dollar is the posted price currency for oil, which it still is. So that's a really big thing. The other things we've got going are the coming of Petraeus and the increased power of the neocons. There's a big freakout in the U.S.-British diplomatic circles about what you just mentioned, that Brazil and Turkey attempted to mediate the crisis. There's also the fact that the weaponry that's being accumulated by Iran, by Syria, by Hezbollah, and maybe even by Hamas is also building up. So a conjuncture of 5 or 10 different things coming together. So we now have to say that there is a very acute danger. And I would point to this statement about 2 weeks ago from Fidel Castro, right, the dictator of Cuba. He's really the head of state. He's the comandante en jefe. He's not officially the head of state, but really he is. He runs Cuba, even if it's from his sickbed. So he called an emergency session of the Cuban parliament and said, we're facing a situation of imminent nuclear war. Now, some people would say, well, he's crazy or he's a communist, but you have to think about the resources that he brings to the table. He has an intelligence agency, right? It's the DGI, the Dirección General de Informaciones, and they have spies. We just had a guy in the State Department and his wife who was put away, I think, for life after spending decades and decades spying for Cuba. So Castro draws on internal knowledge of the
But you don't even need that. They've turned the propaganda back on and are testing the public, market testing, for the attack, saying they've got to do it, and they've been building up the military forces, and now he comes out and talks about a criminal global government and endorses a book saying it's a eugenics empire that controls the planet. This is amazing.
Yeah, and remember, what goes on in public, in other words, when you get a member of the Likud who visits the United States and pops off in some warmonger, bellicose vein, that may just be propaganda. That just may be an attempt to keep support going and to keep the Middle East conflict in the public eye and all that. But again, I think Castro is basing this on things that are from behind the scenes, not just propaganda, not just war, not just the attempt to blackmail people with threats of war, but real war preparations. Now, just in the past weekend, people may be